Chapter 31-35. Should we do it now? The man in sunglasses asked the person on the other end of the line. No, just keep watching. His boss. Tasmania town. Huamin took the 5,000 yuan he got from Riley and found an inconspicuous motel to settle down. Then he walked across a few streets and made a phone call from a phone booth. Dialing Qin Chu's familiar number, Huamin took a deep breath because he was very nervous. He would be able to hear Mr. Qin's voice soon. If he knew that he had escaped, he would be ecstatic. After dialing the number, there was a pause of 3 seconds. Suddenly, a robotic voice came from the other end of the line. Sorry, the subscriber you have dialed is unavailable. Huamin froze. Qin Chu rarely turned off his phone. It was usually on 24 hours a day. Did something happen to him? After her accident, did Qin Chu think that she was dead? No way, there were still 2 little ones at home. Huamin anxiously dialed South Hill Manor's number again. After about 10 seconds, the call was picked up. Oh. Ning Ning. Huamin recognized Qin Ning's voice. Sister-in-law? Qin Ning asked in disbelief. It's me. Huamin was a bit excited. Oh my god, sister-in-law. How could you call me? Where are you? Do you know that we've been looking for you like crazy? Qin Ning suppressed the ecstasy in her heart. I know. Is everything okay at home? Huamin asked. Yes, everyone is fine. We're all waiting for you to come back safely. Where's my husband? I called him, but his phone was turned off. Is he at home or at the company? Sai, what time is it now? How can my brother be in the mood to go to work? After your accident, my brother was so anxious that he fell into a coma and stayed in the military hospital for a long time. He only woke up after the operation 2 days ago. After he woke up, he didn't want to stay at home. He said that he had news about you and left in a hurry. I guess he should still be on the plane now, so you can't call him. I see. Where did he go? Huamin asked cautiously. My brother said that he's going to Australia. You're really coming to Australia? Huamin was excited again. It seemed like she was really close to Qin Chu. As long as she could find a way to leave this place and contact Qin Chu, the 2 of them should be able to meet in Sydney. Yes, my brother said that you might be in Australia. Okay, I got it. If your brother's phone is switched on, give him a call and tell him that I'm in Australia too. You're in Australia too? Oh my god, that's great. Where are you? Sister-in-law? Qin Ning asked. Huamin was about to tell her where she was when she heard a slight noise on the phone. She wasn't sure if her home phone was bugged or something like that. So she didn't dare to continue and said hurriedly, anyway, he'll understand. I'll go find him. I'll call him again. Okay, sister-in-law. Be careful. Okay. Sister-in-law, how's the baby in your belly? Yeah, the baby's fine. That's great. Qin Ning was ecstatic. Ning Ning, Pudding and Little Bean, don't worry, sister-in-law. They're both fine, Qin Ning said. Okay, that's good. I'll have them come to the phone. No, wait for me to go back. Don't let the baby worry about me. Then Huamin hurriedly hung up the phone. He looked at the time. It had been more than 30 seconds. By the time Huamian left the phone booth, the sky had already darkened. Maybe it was because she was pregnant, but she was still hungry. Although she ate a lot at noon, she was still hungry. So Huamin decided to find a convenience store and buy some food to take back to the motel. Just as she turned the corner and walked into the small path, she clearly felt that someone was following her from behind. Chapter 31-36. Huamin sneaked a peek at the sky. It was already dark. Nights overseas weren't as lively as nights in China. There weren't as many pedestrian streets and night markets. Even a place like Sydney was the same, let alone a small town like Tasmania. She had read a lot of news before that nights overseas weren't safe. After dark, there were many places where people couldn't walk around freely. Especially areas where black people lived, it was even more unsafe. Therefore, for a layman like Huamin, she didn't know where was safe and where she could walk. After the phone call, Huamin walked into a small alley and regretted not taking the main road or a crowded place. But now there was no turning back. He could only quicken his pace and move forward. Huamin quickened her steps as if there was wind beneath her feet. However, she could clearly feel that the person behind her quickened his steps as well. Judging from the heavy footsteps, it was definitely a man. Huamin didn't dare to look back. She even started to jog, however she could clearly feel that someone was grabbing her hair tightly. Then they pressed her body against the wall, Huamin turned around and her expression changed drastically. It was a black man who was almost 1.9 meters tall. She couldn't tell his age. His face was dark and his eyes were filled with the hunger of a hunter. "Woman, you can't escape," the black man said in English fiercely. "Who sent you?" Huamin looked at him and asked. The black man was confused by Huamin's question. "Is it Riley or someone else?" Huamin asked again. "What Riley?" "I don't know him." From the black man's eyes, it didn't seem like he was lying to her. Huamin suddenly realized that she was being robbed. She reacted quickly and took out a few US dollars from her pocket. "If you want money, I'll give you this. This is all I have." "I don't want it." After the black man said that he didn't want it, Huamin suddenly felt a sense of fear. Then the black man looked at Huamin with a lustful gaze and asked, "Korean?" Huamin did not say anything. "Japanese?" Huamin still did not answer. "Chinese? Singaporean? Hong Kong people? Taiwanese?" He seemed to be very curious about where Huamin came from. However, Huamin didn't know why he asked this question, so he didn't plan to say anything. "Forget it. Since you don't want to talk, I'll do it. Did you know that I'm especially infatuated with Korean girl groups? Their figures make people drool. Tell me, how can you Asians be so obedient? You're God's perfect masterpiece. Looks like I'll be able to enjoy a good meal today. Please don't hurt me. What do you want? Tell me." Huamin lowered his stance as if he wanted the black man to let him go. "Let you go? No, it wasn't easy for me to get such a fun girl. How can I let you go? After I'm done with you, I'll take you back and show you to my brothers. They also like Asian faces. You're like a beautiful doll." Then the black man licked his lips as if he had already trained Huamin. "Don't do this to me. I'm pregnant. I'm 3 months pregnant. I have a baby in my belly. He's very pitiful. Don't hurt us." Huamin thought that as long as a person had a little conscience, they wouldn't hurt a pregnant woman. But she was wrong. After hearing that she was pregnant, the black man seemed very excited. "Oh my God. I've never tried a pregnant woman before. Must be very exciting." Chapter 31-37. After hearing the black man's words, Huamin's face turned cold. Some people were really heartless. She told him she was pregnant, but he didn't let her go and wanted to continue his evil deeds. "Since you have no conscience, I think I don't have to be nice to you," Huamin said coldly. Looking at the angry bird under his control, the black man froze and then laughed awkwardly. "Haha, interesting. Let's see how you can escape from me. Even if you scream for help, no one will come to save you. Because this is the black area, our territory. Do you understand? Ignorant woman." He thought that after saying that, the woman in front of him would be desperate, scared, and obedient to him. However, Huamin smiled. This smile carried a trace of coldness in the night. "What are you smiling at? What's so funny? Don't you know what you're facing?" the black man asked Huamin. "Of course I know what I'm facing. I even know what you're facing." Then the black man felt his wrist go slightly numb. Then he subconsciously let go of his hand. Huamin took the opportunity to crawl out from under his arm and ran a few steps to the side. The black man wanted to run a few steps after him, but he found his feet were useless. What did you do to me?" The black man was angry. "I told you. Between us, you're the big idiot. You don't know what you're facing." Huamin had a poisonous needle in his sleeve. He had soaked it in poisonous grass to protect himself. He didn't expect it to come in handy. At this moment, she really wanted to thank the poisonous grass on the island and her precious poisonous centipede. Before, Riley and even John were curious why the centipede didn't bite Huamin. It was because Huamin had the smell of herbs on him. When the centipede smelled it, it quieted down and didn't dare to move. In this world, there was no absolute powerhouse. Everything had its vanquisher. The centipede happened to be afraid of herbs, and Huamin happened to know that the centipede was afraid of herbs, so he found the herb and used it to wash his face. The black man found that not only were his arms and legs numb, but there were also some scarlet spots on his arms. "What did you do to me? Just wait for your death, black devil." This was the first time that Huamin hated black people so much. They bullied a weak woman like her. They were inhumane and deserved to die. "Do you believe that if I roar, all my friends here will surround you and eat you alive?" The black man was furious. "I only know that I won't let you have that chance. Go, baby. After Huamin finished speaking, he released the little centipede. It was extremely fast. Before the black man could call for help, the centipede had already bitten the black man's ankle. There was another sharp pain coupled with the toxicity of the poison from before. The black man lay on the ground, his body twitching non-stop. You reap what you sow. Huamin glanced at him coldly and turned to leave. She knew that this man would die. Other than Matthew, this was the second person to die in her hands. If it were before, she would feel guilty and uncomfortable. After all, as a doctor, her job was to save people. How could she live with herself when she killed someone? But now things were different. Huamin only had one thought in her heart. Whoever stood in her way, she would kill them. No matter who they were. Inside a hotel suite in a Middle Eastern country, Mr. Ian, when we monitored Miss Huasiqian's phone, we found that she had escaped from Huasiqian's control. She said that she was in Australia. Oh. Ian raised his eyebrows slightly, seemingly surprised. Chapter 31-38. Did the woman escape? Ian asked. I think so. Huasiqian is still nowhere to be seen? Yeah, Huasiqian didn't show up. This is interesting. But sir, as long as we catch that woman, she'll definitely know where Huasiqian is. Yes, so what are you waiting for? Hurry up and do a data analysis to find out where she was when she called. Yes sir, I'll do it right away. Yes, Huamin's phone was bugged. Ian was a very powerful enemy. He was able to determine Huamin's exact location based on the tracking data. This was definitely a very dangerous thing to do. Inside the small motel, Huamin lay on the bed, tossing and turning, unable to fall asleep. The thought of going home made her inexplicably excited. But it seemed like it would be very difficult for her to go back. When she first left the island, she wondered why she didn't use Riley's phone to call Chin Chu for help. The answer was that she didn't trust those people at all. Why would they save Mr. Chin's phone number in their numbers? With Huasiqian's style, he must have done something to those people's phones. If that happened, wouldn't she and Mr. Chin be in danger? And just now, when she heard Qin Ning's voice, she was ecstatic. But when Ning Ning asked for the exact address, Huamin hesitated. It wasn't that she didn't trust Qin Ning, but she didn't trust those people. South Hill Manor's landline was probably bugged a long time ago. Only Mr. Qin's phone had an anti-bugging function, so if she wanted to call him, she would have to call Qin Chu directly next time. Thinking of Mr. Qin, Huamin's eyes softened. She put her hand on her belly again. Baby, Daddy is coming to pick us up. Be good, follow Mommy and listen to Mommy. Plus, Huamin felt that if Qin Chu turned on his phone, he would definitely hear Qin Ning's message. Then he would definitely come looking for him. With that thought in mind, Huamin eventually fell into a deep sleep. At around 2 in the morning, the sound of footsteps woke her up from her light sleep. She got up quietly. Huamin didn't dare to take off his clothes in case something unexpected happened. So she immediately got up and hid behind the door. After a while, she heard the sound of someone going up the stairs. Mom, are you inside? Who is it? Huamin asked cautiously. I'm the waiter downstairs. A group of people are looking for a Chinese girl with the surname Hua. They said that her family is here to pick her up. Family? Huamin was slightly startled. Yes, their cars are very nice. Your family seems to be very rich. Huamin looked at the window of the guest room. This was the 3rd floor. She couldn't escape by jumping down. She was also pregnant. So she had to bite the bullet and go out to see who they were. Finally, Huamin hid the poisonous needles and centipedes. She carefully opened the door and walked downstairs. In fact, she also knew that these things could be used to deal with one person, but to deal with more than 10 or 20 people with guns, it was simply not a way to deal with them. With that thought, Huamin calmed down. She thought carefully and went downstairs. As expected, there were many tall men standing on the 1st floor. They were all dressed in suits and leather shoes. None of them looked familiar. They were completely different from Riley's group. Mom, are you really here? The leader of the foreigners smiled at Huamin. Who are you? I'm Kevin. Mr. Qin sent me to pick you up. Mr. Qin? Huamin narrowed her eyes and asked suspiciously. Chapter 31-39. Your husband, President Qin, Mr. Qin Chu. How did he know I was here? Huamin clearly remembered that he didn't tell Qin Ning the exact location, let alone Qin Chu. It's like this, madam. Didn't you call home earlier? Miss Qin answered it. Later, Miss Qin got in touch with Mr. Qin. Mr. Chin asked us to find your location based on your call record with Miss Chin. We checked the phone booth and found that there was a public phone nearby. But we thought that you wouldn't be gone for too long since you're a woman, so we asked around for your whereabouts in all the nearby hotels and inns. I see. Then why didn't my husband call me himself? Humin asked. Mr. Chin's whereabouts aren't very safe right now. Someone is following him, so it's not convenient. For your safety, he asked us to pick you up first and then find a safe place to meet him. Oh, I see. Humin seemed a little hesitant. Madam, if you don't believe us, here's a recording of our conversation with Mr. Chin. Can you listen to it? Then the man named Kevin took out his phone and walked up to Humin. Then he found the number in the call record and showed it to Humin. It was indeed Chin Chu's phone number. Then Kevin played the recording. Humin leaned over and listened. You guys go pick him up. I'll see you later. It was a simple sentence, but it sounded like Chin Chu's voice. Can I talk to him again? Humin looked at Kevin and asked. He didn't expect Humin to say this, so he was a little surprised. But President Chin is on the plane again and his phone is off. Should we wait for him to get off? Okay. Humin nodded. But you can't stay here anymore, madam. You have to come with us. Huasiqian's people are looking for you everywhere. It's not safe here anymore. Okay. Then hurry up and get in the car with us. Then where are we going now? Did my husband say where we should meet? We're also waiting for President Chin's instructions. Now we just need to take him to a safe place and protect him. Kevin smiled, to express his friendliness towards Humin. Humin nodded his head as he looked at Kevin and the dozen foreign men behind him. He decided not to ask any more questions. Kevin opened the black Bentley for Humin. After Humin went up, Kevin smiled triumphantly. After driving for about 10 minutes, Humin realized that the car was about to leave the town. He suddenly felt uneasy. Therefore, when they passed by a supermarket, Humin suddenly clutched his stomach with a pained expression. It hurts. My stomach hurts so much. What's the matter, ma'am? I think I'm going to have a miscarriage. Miscarriage? You're pregnant? Kevin's face seemed to be very surprised. Yeah. Didn't my husband tell you? President Chin. Maybe he didn't have time to tell us, Kevin explained. It hurts. Can you take me to the hospital? The hospital here doesn't have good facilities. I'll take you to our place. We have private doctors there. They're better than the ones here. Kevin didn't want Humin to get out of the car. Then help me find a washroom. My stomach hurts so much that I want to go to the washroom. Otherwise, I can't do it in the car, right? Humin frowned. After thinking for a while, Kevin glanced at the driver. Stop the car in front. We'll accompany Ma-am to the washroom, Kevin ordered. Then the car slowly stopped at the entrance of the shopping mall. I can go alone. You don't have to follow me. It's too much trouble, Humin said. No, we have to protect you. We have to do what President Chin asked us to do. Then Kevin and his 4 men got out of the car with Humin. Chapter 3140. When Humin saw that this group of people wanted to follow her to the toilet, she was even more certain of her inner thoughts. However, these people were really good. They actually managed to get a recording of Chin Chu's voice. It seemed like they had gotten a recording of Chin Chu's meeting or something and then edited it. There must be a master behind this group of people. Otherwise, they wouldn't have planned it so carefully. However, they didn't dare to let Humin talk to Chin Chu on the spot. This was the biggest loophole. After knowing Chin Chu for so many years, she understood Chin Chu's character very well. Even if he was in a hurry to catch a plane, he would still talk to Humin. Therefore, from the beginning, Humin obediently followed this group of people to stall for time. Because at that time in that small hotel, if she didn't follow these people, they wouldn't have let her go. If they really used force, she was afraid that it would be harmful to her unborn child. Humin walked very slowly. Along the way, she carefully observed her surroundings to see if there was a chance to escape. Those people followed behind her closely, afraid that she would run away. In such a remote Australian town, Humin was really fighting alone. She didn't dare to trust anyone except for Chin Chu, who saw it with her own eyes. She really didn't trust anyone who came to pick her up or help her anymore. When she was young, she often said that there were only 2 things in the world that couldn't be looked at directly. They were the sun and the human heart. Now that she had seen so much good and evil, Humin didn't dare to trust others casually. Finally, she arrived at the door of the toilet. Fortunately, this was a 24-hour shopping mall. There were quite a lot of people. At this time the lights were still on. Huamin suddenly felt that there was hope for escape. Okay, madam, you can go in. We'll protect you here. Kevin and his men stood at the door. Okay. Huamin nodded and slowly walked in. When she first entered, she didn't walk in. Instead, she leaned against the wall to listen to what they were saying. Sure enough, some of Kevin's subordinates were unwilling to be left out. Mr. Kevin, are you sure there won't be any problems? In my opinion, why don't we not let her go to the bathroom and just take her away? I'm so hungry. It doesn't matter. It's dead inside. There's no other way out. There's not even a window. Where can she run to? Besides, if we use force and she notices something wrong, we won't be able to take her away smoothly. We don't want to cause trouble. Don't you remember what Sir told us? Yes, Mr. Kevin. It's up to you. None of them dared to raise any more objections. Huamin heard their conversation clearly. He heard a key person. My lord? What lord? Which lord? Huamin was a little confused. This didn't seem like the way they would address Huasiqian. Huasiqian's subordinates would usually address him as boss. If it wasn't Huasiqian, who else would want to kidnap her? Huamin quietly walked in after hearing what they said. She chose the bathroom in the mall because there were a lot of people and it wouldn't attract too much attention. Miss Hua, are you okay? Kevin was a little impatient when she didn't come out for a long time. He yelled into the women's bathroom. Yes, I'm fine. I'm having a stomachache. Wait for me, Huamin replied in fluent English. Huamin leaned against the wall and racked her brain, thinking of a way to escape. After all, if she didn't find a way to leave this time, once she got into the car with them, there might be no turning back. Suddenly, a thought flashed through her mind as she thought of an idea. Chapter 3141. Did Huamian still remember how Huasi's men kidnapped her twin daughters? Although Huasi wasn't very smart, his plan was very well thought out. At that thought, Huamin wondered if a cleaner would come in. Just as he had this thought, he saw a woman wearing a mask walk in. She was holding a bucket and a mop. Hello, Auntie. Can you do me a favor? Huamin walked over and asked. What is it, madam? There's a group of people outside. They're all bad guys. They want to kidnap my child and ask my husband for money. I'm almost 3 months pregnant. I have to leave this place now and get rid of them. So, can you lend me your clothes and things to wear? But, this is my job. I can't explain myself. The woman didn't seem very willing. Huamin took out a few large dollar bills from his bag and handed them over. Please, can you help me? I'm a pregnant woman. I don't want my children and I to be kidnapped by bad guys. The woman's eyes lit up when she saw the dollars. Everyone knew that US dollars were the currency of many big countries. Even if you couldn't spend it, you could exchange it at the bank. A few hundred US dollars was equivalent to a few thousand yuan. In the end, the woman couldn't resist the temptation of money. She nodded and agreed to exchange her clothes with Huamin. 2 minutes later, the cleaner walked out of the toilet with dirty hair and a dirty face. There were water stains on her body. She was holding a bucket and a mop. She didn't walk very fast. When she walked out, Kevin and his men instinctively took a few steps back and distanced themselves from her. They had a look of disdain on their faces. After all, she was a toilet cleaner and wasn't respected by others. However, this was the effect Huamin wanted. Back then, Huasi's men took advantage of this and secretly kidnapped the twins from the toilet. Therefore, at this moment, Huamin really wanted to thank Huasiqian. At this time, he used this method to successfully leave the mall. When he walked out of the mall, Huamin left from the back door. He didn't want to attract the attention of the people at the front door. Huamin left about 5 minutes later. Kevin looked at his watch impatiently. After all, with Ian's identity as a terrorist, he had to be very careful in various countries. Mom, are you done yet? It's been a long time. Kevin asked loudly again. This time there was no response. Mrs. Chin, are you done? Can you answer me? Kevin asked again. Mr. Kevin, something doesn't seem right. One of his men frowned. You go in and take a look. Search them one by one. If you see anyone, bring them out. Kevin was already impatient, so he didn't plan to be polite to Huamin. However, when they entered, nothing was found. The man searched the entire female toilet and only found a cleaner who was curled up in the toilet storage room. She was wearing Huamin's clothes, but she had another face. Hence, Kevin's subordinates grabbed the female lead and dragged her in front of Kevin. Mr. Kevin, the woman disappeared. We only found this woman. Where is she? Kevin choked the woman's neck. I don't know. I don't know anything. The woman shook her head in fear. Then why are you wearing her clothes? Kevin asked fiercely. That's because she said that bad guys wanted to catch her. She's pregnant, so she changed clothes with me. Oh no. Boss, the cleaner who went out just now was Miss Hua. What should we do now? The group of people panicked. They didn't expect the person they had captured to escape. If Mr. Ian knew, he would chop off their heads. Chapter 3142. Now you're asking me what to do? Why aren't you chasing after her? A bunch of idiots. When Kevin learned that Huamin had run away, he was so angry that he almost shot her. If he didn't do what Mr. Ian told him to do, he would be in deep trouble. At this time, he really regretted that he didn't tie this Chinese woman up directly at the small hotel and stuff her into the car. Now there were more problems. He never thought that such a young and quiet woman would be so quick-witted. He still remembered that before he left, Lord Ian had told him not to be too rough when capturing people. He had to be gentle and try his best to coax them. It seemed that this woman was a very important person to Master Ian. After careful consideration, Kevin decided not to use force on Huamian. However, he didn't expect her to escape by slipping away halfway through. At Kevin's command, his men all ran out. In a small town like this where there were not many Asians, there were not many of them. It was very easy to find a woman. After Huamin left the mall, she kept going to crowded places. However, it was very difficult to find a crowded place in the wee hours of the morning. Foreigners had different habits and didn't have busy night markets. She dodged left and right. She learned her lesson from being followed by a black man, so she didn't dare to take the small roads or the main roads. She could only take one step at a time. Fortunately, he was lucky enough to run into a night bus that was arranged for employees working overtime in some companies. Just like that, she got on a bus. Since she didn't have any local currency, she used a large US dollar bill. The Australian driver was so shocked that his jaw almost dropped. He was about to argue with her when a kind foreign beauty helped Huamin put in the US dollar. Are you a tourist? She asked. Yes, I'm new here. I don't know much. Thank you. Huamin lowered her head and thanked the beauty. It's okay. Don't worry. Everything will be fine. God bless you, girl. Huamin could tell that the beauty was a Christian. That was why she said God. However, she was indeed kind, so Huamin was sincerely grateful. In return, he put a large amount of US dollars in the beauty's hand. But the little beauty refused to accept it no matter what he said. At this time, the bus started to move slowly. Huamin looked very inconspicuous in the crowd of tall Australians. From the early hours of the previous day until now, the sky was almost bright, but they still hadn't left this small town. Was this a blessing or a curse? She didn't even know where the car was going. By the time Kevin's men came out, the bus was already far away. They searched the area several times, but they couldn't find any trace of Huamin. Kevin clenched his fists in anger. All of you continue to search for her. You must find her, otherwise we will all be killed by the Lord. Yes. Then Kevin's subordinates dispersed again. On the other side, inside a motel, how is it? Did you find anything? Riley asked. I found out that Miss Hua accidentally entered a small motel in the ghetto and killed a black man who tried to harm her. Where are they now? Still in a small hotel? No, he was taken away. Who took him away? I'm not sure who they are. Oh no, you guys go and find a way to stop them. We can't let Miss Hua leave Tasmania because our boss is waking up. Boss, the boss is awake, but there's no one on the island. He's still chained up. Shouldn't we send someone to check on him? John, come here. Riley waved at John. Chapter 3143. Boss, what's your order? Take 2 of us back to the island on a speedboat. When the boss wakes up, let him out immediately. But we don't have the key. Miss Hua didn't give us the key either. Are you an idiot? We can break the chains with a gun. John said to the other guy. Oh, that works. The guy scratched his head. Boss, are we going back now? Yes. Riley nodded. How can we be sure if the boss is himself or his second personality? If it's his second personality, will he kill us? John was one of the smarter ones and thought more about it. It's impossible. I've given the boss medicine and he'll wake up for sure. There's no possibility of him having a second personality. Hey, let's go now. Yeah. The boss will probably leave the island with you guys to catch Miss Hua. Okay. After giving the orders, Riley was still worried and followed the other guys to look for Huamin. Meanwhile, Huamin wanted to find a small motel after getting off the bus. She was worried about the safety of the motel in the ghetto last time. This time Huamin thought she shouldn't go in. She could find a bus stop or subway station to spend the night there. But on second thought, that place wasn't as safe as a small motel. Not long after she walked, she was pleasantly surprised to find a 24-hour convenience store. The most surprising thing was that the name of the store was in Chinese. Seemed to be a Chinese store. Huamin didn't have time to think and walked in. What do you want to buy? The lady boss was doing some calculations with her calculator. I'm a little hungry. Can I have instant noodles here? Do you have hot water? Yes. The lady boss found it strange that Huamian would eat instant noodles at this hour. Are you a tourist? The Chinese lady boss looked at Huamin and asked in Chinese. Yeah. Huamin nodded. Why are you walking outside at this hour? Don't you know it's dangerous here at night? I ran into some trouble. I had to, Huamin said vaguely. Oh, I see. All right, I'll boil some water and instant noodles for you first. The lady boss was a good person. Seeing the pitiful look on the little girl's face, she immediately felt pity for her. Big sister, I found a foreign boyfriend, but he's a pervert. He abused me many times. We quarreled and I'm pregnant. I'm afraid that he'll hit me again, so I ran away. I think he and his friends are looking for me everywhere, so can you help me? Huamin did not care anymore. He decided to give it a try. After all, not everyone was a bad person, right? Moreover, he was a Chinese. He should have pity for her. After all, they were from the same ancestor. As expected, after hearing what Huamin said, the lady boss was very surprised. Aren't a tourist? I'm not. I came to this place with my boyfriend, but he's different from before. If he doesn't agree with me, he'll hit me. I regret it now. I really want to go home. Huamin said with tears in his eyes. Oh, don't cry. Miss, come in first. Big sister, can you turn off the lights and close the shop first? I'm afraid that they'll find you later and you'll be in trouble. Please, I'll compensate you if you suffer any losses. Huamin looked out the window nervously, afraid that someone would follow them in. That's not a problem. I'll close the shop now. You don't have to compensate me. The big sister seemed to believe Huamin completely. She immediately turned off the lights and locked the door. Huamin was relieved. Come in with me, okay? Everyone looked at the girl's pitiful look and couldn't bear to see her like this. You just said that you're pregnant? The big sister looked at Huamin suspiciously. Chapter 3144. If you don't believe me, you can give me a pregnancy test right now. I can show you the results, Huamin explained. No, miss, that's not what I meant. You might have misunderstood. What I meant was that if you were really pregnant, your boyfriend would be a scumbag if he hit you. I think so too. Huamin nodded. Come sit down and rest. Don't tire yourself out. Thank you, big sister. You're welcome. We're all Chinese, so of course I'll help you. How far along are you? Almost 3 months. Whoa, I couldn't tell that you're so skinny. A lot of things have happened recently and I'm not in a good mood, Huamin said slowly. Pregnant women can't eat instant noodles. It's junk food and it's not nutritious. Wait here, I'll make you something to eat. No, big sister, I'm grateful that you took me in. I don't want to trouble you. I'll just eat instant noodles. Huamin really didn't want to trouble this big sister. She seemed like a nice person and she didn't want to drag her down. She didn't tell her the truth because she had some concerns. First, she was worried that big sister might betray her. Second, she was worried that the more big sister knew, the more trouble she would cause in the future. Therefore, Huamin made up the story of her foreign boyfriend beating her up, just to cover it up. It's no trouble, it's okay. I'm a good cook and it's more than enough to make you a bowl of hot vegetable noodle soup. Wait here. The big sister was a nice person, so Huamin couldn't stop her. She went into the kitchen anyway. Huamin sat in the small room and looked around the small convenience store. It wasn't big at all. The big sister sold a lot of things that Chinese people like to eat. There were even some pickled vegetables, fermented bean curd, chili sauce, and other specialties. It was really heartwarming to see things from China in a foreign country. Soon the big sister came out with hot noodle soup and placed it on the small table beside Huamin. Sister, eat it while it's hot. Don't starve the baby in your belly. Really, big sister, I don't know how to thank you. Don't be so courteous. Come eat more. I'll bring you some pickled vegetables. As she spoke, she got up and went to the shelf of the supermarket to find a bag of pickled mustard for Huamin. To be able to eat a bowl of piping hot noodles in the middle of the night was truly a blessing. Miss, it's not that I want to nag at you. There's a phenomenon in China that's really bad. Many domestic girls like to worship foreigners and fawn over them. They think that foreigners who know how to chant scriptures are so rich, as if they're superior to foreigners. But the truth isn't that simple. Many domestic girls are hot-headed and marry foreigners. Not only do they not speak the same language, but the cultural differences between the two sides are huge. After a long time, their relationship will definitely not last. In the end, their families will be ruined. I've been in Australia for many years and I've seen a lot of such things. I really don't agree with some young girls who find foreign husbands just to worship. It's not that good abroad and it's not necessarily paradise. Big sister, I understand what you mean. Huamin nodded guiltily. Looking at you like this, even I feel sorry for you. My shop hired a girl who came from China to work. She wanted to earn some money so she could go home and get married, but she didn't want to. I don't know where she found a black man, but when they came back to China, they were detained at the airport. A large amount of heroin was found in the suitcase. She was dumbfounded. Even after being sold, she still helped others count the money. Tell me, isn't this a tragedy? You young girls. Sigh, I don't know what to say. Girl, you're quite young, what do you do for a living? The big sister asked casually. Huamin hesitated. Chapter 31:45. I'm an intern doctor actually. Doctor? You're a medical student. Huamin nodded. That's amazing. Let me tell you, we need Chinese doctors like you overseas who can open their own private clinics because it's really hard to get a number here. It's different from our country. Look at you, why do you have to suffer? Why don't you abort the child and break up with your boyfriend? I'll introduce you to someone else. Let me tell you, I have a friend whose son is really outstanding. He works in Sydney as a financial planner and earns tens of thousands a month. He has a car and a house and he's already an Australian citizen. Do you know what's so good about this place? It's because there are so few people in Australia that the government encourages people to have more children. The more children you have, the more subsidies you get. Isn't that great? Huamin suddenly didn't know what to say. What do you think of my suggestion, girl? Big sis, I appreciate your kindness, but I can't abort the child. It's my child after all. I'm not that heartless. That's easy. Why don't your husband come down and I'll find someone to adopt the child for you. Otherwise, you won't be able to find a good man to marry. I don't want to find one. I've never thought about it. What are you talking about? You're still young. I'm not young anymore. I'm 27, almost 30, Huamin corrected her. You're still young, silly girl. You should make plans for yourself while you're still young. Huamin suddenly felt uncomfortable lying. No wonder people always said that people shouldn't lie so easily. One lie had to be covered up with 100 lies. She really wanted to tell her sister the truth. Not only was she old, but she also had 2 cute daughters. But then she thought about it and decided to continue chatting with her sister. It wasn't true anyway. Young lady, listen to me. You're right. Big sis, how did you come to Australia? From your accent, you sound like you're from Shandong. Yeah, how did you know? Her sister was surprised. Because I've been there before. The people there are very simple and warm. Yes, my hometown is Yanggu in Shandong province. The hometown of martial arts. Have you heard of it? Yes, it's a very famous place. Huamin nodded. I've been here for 7 or 8 years. At first, my daughter came here because she was gambling. Then she settled down here and found a Chinese husband. Later, she gave birth to a child and had no one to take care of it, so I came here to help. Later, when the child went to school, I had nothing to do, so my daughter opened a small shop for me to pass the time. Is your husband here too? Huamin asked. My husband died 15 years ago in a car accident. Oh, I'm sorry, big sister. I didn't mean it. It's fine. Let's talk about you. If you're willing, I'll tell my old friend that both mother and son are in Sydney tomorrow. What do you think? Ahem. Big sis, I'm done eating. I'm going to wash the dishes. Let me do it. You're pregnant now. You can't do this. Everyone snatched Huamin's bowl away. It could be seen that he was really a very warm-hearted person. Big sis, I'm a little tired. I'm going to sleep for a while. I'll be fine after a short nap. How can that be? Go upstairs. That's my bedroom. It's clean. It's not only dirty here but it's also cold. It's really fine. I'll stay here until daybreak. You're leaving at daybreak? Why are you in such a hurry? Where are you going now? I'm going back to China to find my family, Huamin said. Just as she finished speaking, before Big Sister could reply, the sound of noisy footsteps suddenly came from outside the door. The camera saw her disappear around here. Search every house. You must find her. The foreign man's voice came from outside. Huamin was shocked and quickly got up. Chapter 3146. Oh my God, are these people here to catch you? The woman seemed to be a little flustered. Yeah. Huamin nodded. Quick, hide in my closet upstairs. Don't let them find you. Everyone found a place for Huamin to hide. However, Huamin refused to do it. No sis, they'll definitely turn your house upside down. Have to leave here. But it's not even dawn yet, where are you going? It's okay, I can go anywhere. I can't drag you into this. Sis, is there a back door? I have to leave. Can't you hide in the basement or something? Do you have to leave? You don't understand these people's methods. They won't give up until they find me. You and I just met by chance and you've helped me up to this point. It's already very kind of you. You even cooked noodles for me. Big sister, I'll remember this kindness in my heart. Huamin took out some US dollars. Oh, my little girl, you're still thinking of giving me money at a time like this? I don't want it. If that's the case, hurry up and leave through the back door. The woman refused to take the money no matter what. Then, if I don't die, I'll definitely repay you. Thank you, sis. Huamin was very serious. She bent down and bowed deeply to this warm-hearted woman from Shandong. This was probably the only warm-hearted person she had met on her escape. Don't do that, Mississippi. You're pregnant, don't get hit. The woman was also a little flustered. Then Huamin followed the woman out of the convenience store through the back door. At this time the sky seemed to be about to brighten. The sky was beginning to turn white. Miss, how about you find a place to hide first? When the sun rises and the workers go to work, you can go to the Chinese consulate and ask for protection. They'll definitely do their best to send you back to China. They won't let your boyfriend hurt you. Okay. Huamin nodded and didn't explain further. I'll leave first. Big sister, if they come in, just say that you don't know anything. Those people probably won't do anything to you. Yeah, I'm fine. I've been here for 7 or 8 years, so I know how to deal with them. Just like that, Huamin thanked the big sister again and left the convenience store under her gaze. Huamin actually didn't know where to go. He wasn't very familiar with this unfamiliar place, so he could only go wherever he went. However, she knew that she had to try her best to avoid it. If she was caught, it wouldn't be easy for her to escape. This was for sure. Sydney, Australia. After receiving Lu Yan's call, Qiao Fei met her at the hotel. When Lu Yan pushed open the door and walked in, it was obvious that she wasn't in a good mood. How is it? Did you find it? Qiao Fei stood up. Oh, damn it. I checked one by one but it's not her, Lu Yan said in a huff. That's impossible. Since Qin Chu found out that Sister Mian was in Australia, she must be in Australia. How could he not find her after checking so many places? Qiao Fei thought that Qin Chu's source of information couldn't be wrong. We checked all the files. What do you mean? Qiao Fei seemed to have understood something. The key is that there are still files. Australia is too fucking strange. The islands sold by the government are monopolized by the owners of the islands for the second or third time. It's harder than climbing to the sky to find out. Then what should we do? Qiao Fei walked over and wanted to comfort Lu Yan. Chapter 3147. What should I do? Do nothing? Anyway, I'll do whatever it takes to find my sister. Didn't you say my brother-in-law is in Sydney? When will he meet me? Qiao Fei asked. I don't know yet. I've sent him all the relevant information. With his personality, he'll contact me when he arrives in Sydney. Then Lu Yan looked at her watch. It's already so late. He should be here, unless... Lu Yan wanted to say something but stopped. No, we can't wait any longer. I'm running out of patience. I have to go to Smith's house. I think this old psycho is hiding something. I'll go with you. Qiao Fei stood up. Aren't you afraid of being traumatized? Lu Yan teased Qiao Fei with a smile. He's the one who's traumatized, Qiao Fei said calmly. Huh. Where's Amy? Lu Yan looked around but didn't see her female subordinate inside or outside the room. I sent her away, Qiao Fei said. Why did you send her away? I'm here to protect you, you idiot, Lu Yan said. I don't need a burden. Thank you, Qiao Fei explained and walked out of the room. Lu Yan shook her head helplessly at his aloofness. Just like that, Lu Yan didn't see Qin Chu. Feeling impatient, she went to Smith's house with Qiao Fei again. He wanted to interrogate Smith about the whereabouts of the secret island by torturing him. South Hill Manor, there was a 2-hour time difference between China and Australia, so it was around 4 a.m. in Australia. In China it was around 2 a.m. the darkness before dawn. In the upstairs bedroom of South Hill Manor, Pudding had a scary dream. She dreamed that during her and her sister's birthday party her mom suddenly came back. Then she was covered in blood. Before she could ask, her mom fell to the ground and blood flowed like a river. She kept calling her mom but she wouldn't wake up no matter what. Pudding woke up in fright, sweating profusely. Then he started to pant heavily. Mommy, don't. Little Bean suddenly woke up from her sleep. Pudding hugged her sister instinctively. Little Bean, wake up. I'm scared. I'm so scared. Little Bean choked. What's wrong? Did you have a nightmare? Pudding asked softly. Yeah, I dreamt that Mommy fell off the cliff again and was washed away by the sea. I miss Mommy, Little Bean said as she cried. Coincidentally, Pudding also had a bad dream. It seemed that Pudding and his sister's hearts were really connected. Don't cry, silly. I heard that dreams are reversed. If you have such a dream, it means that Mommy will be back soon. Really? Sis, don't lie to me. Little Bean stopped crying and hugged her sister even tighter. Yes, I'm not lying to you, really. I hope Mommy will come back soon. I really miss her. Sis, when Mommy comes back, the two of us have to listen to her and not make her angry, okay? Okay, I'll be a good boy and won't make Mommy angry again. Pudding nodded sadly. Tasmania Huamin stumbled all the way to an abandoned overpass. She found that walking on the overpass was too eye-catching. There weren't many people on the road, and if she continued walking she would be caught soon. As soon as she reached the overpass, before she could catch her breath, a figure suddenly pounced on her from behind and grabbed her tightly. She was so shocked that she was about to scream when she smelled the scent that she hadn't felt for a long time coming from her neck. At this moment, it was as if her heart was about to stop. Chapter 3148. Mion. I'm here to take you home. Qin Chu's voice was very soft, as if he was afraid that he would scare Huamin if he spoke louder. The moment she heard Qin Chu's voice, Huamin, who had been holding on for the past few days, finally burst into tears. She turned around abruptly and wrapped her arms tightly around Qin Chu's neck. She was so scared that if she let go of him he would still be there. Huamin leaned against Qin Chu's chest and cried quietly. Although it wasn't heart-wrenching or earth-shattering, Qin Chu knew that she must have suffered a lot these days. Don't cry, good girl. My heart will break. Qin Chu carefully reached out his hand and wiped Huamin's tears. Honey, I'm fine, so is the baby. After crying, Huamin was afraid that Qin Chu would be worried, so she immediately reported her condition. I know. Qin Chu held Huamin's face in his hands and gently kissed her forehead, cheeks, and the tip of her nose. Finally, his lips landed on her slightly cold and fatally seductive lips. This kiss felt as if it had been a lifetime ago. Huamin felt like she hadn't seen Qin Chu for a few lifetimes. Her emotions were extremely complicated. Surprise, shock, excitement, relief, and grievance. In short, everything was contained in her tears. It's too cold here. Let's get in the car first. After speaking without waiting for Huamin to speak, Qin Chu directly carried Huamin horizontally and walked out from under the overpass, stepping on the muddy road. Sir, your injury. The subordinate who followed them was also worried that Qin Chu's injury would be torn if he carried the madam like this, since he had just undergone surgery. However, before he could speak, Qin Chu's cold gaze scared him into swallowing his words. Before he came here, he had already told them not to tell Huamin about the surgery. Everything would be decided by Huamin. He did not want Huamin to worry about his health. Hubby, what's wrong with you? Seeing his subordinate's hesitant look, he asked. Chin Chu smiled gently. Then he couldn't help but lower his head again and kiss Huamin's lips. It's okay. I didn't sleep much because I was rushing to catch the plane. They were afraid that I would fall asleep while holding you and throw you on the ground. Huamin, Mr. Chin's joke wasn't funny at all. Along the way, Huamin was like a koala bear, clinging tightly to Chin Chu's chest and refusing to come down. Hubby, am I heavy? Yes, it's not light. That's because your second child took up a portion of your weight. Yes, the baby said that he wasn't going to take the blame for mommy. He wasn't born yet, Chin Chu said in all seriousness. Hubby, can you not be so funny? Are you trying to make me laugh to death? So that you can take over my silver account in King of Glory? Chin Chu, just like that, in order to ease the tense atmosphere, Chin Chu kept teasing Huamin. Chin Chu didn't want to cry at their reunion after such a long separation. The problem was his beloved wife was pregnant. Crying too much was not good for both the child and the mother. Therefore Mr. Chin was going all out. He had always been a serious person, but now he was acting funny like Tang Chuan and Suyu. Chin Chu carried Huamin into the back seat of the black Mercedes-Benz Spider. Sir, what should we do with the people who tried to kill Madam? One of Chin Chu's subordinates stood at the car door and asked carefully. Chin Chu raised his right hand and made a gotcha gesture. His subordinates immediately understood. Hubby, how did you know I was here? How did you find me? Huamin was amazed. She rested her head on Chin Chu's shoulder and asked coquettishly. Chin Chu knew that she was in Tasmania and that she was hiding under an overpass. Did he use a satellite to locate her? That was way too accurate. Chapter 3149. Because we have telepathy. Hey, I don't believe you. Hurry up and tell me. I really want to know. At this moment, Huamin didn't care about Dr. Hua's image or the halo of a genius girl. She just wanted to cuddle up in Mr. Chin's arms and act like a spoiled child. Ning Ning called me and told me that you called home. I looked at the number on the caller ID and found that you were in Tasmania. So you came here directly? Yeah. I was going to Sydney, but after I found your location I flew here directly. But Tasmania is big, okay? How did you find me so quickly? Huamin still couldn't believe it. I first went to the small hotel where you made the first call, but I found that you weren't there. I also knew that there were two groups of people after you. So I was even more anxious, so I asked a special friend to help me. A special friend? Huamin was even more confused. Barton, come here. Chin Chu whistled. A tall black military dog immediately ran over to Chin Chu's car. It stuck out its tongue and looked extremely beautiful. Military dog? Yeah. I asked a friend to get it. It was flown in from Sydney. I heard it's very good. Can find the owner of your old stuff just by smelling it. So, what did you take from me and let the military dog smell it? Huamin was even more curious. Chin Chu carefully took out a piece of clothing from his handbag and showed it to Huamin. Seeing the clothing, Huamin was so touched that she almost cried again. This was her work uniform at Southside. It was a white lab coat and was her favorite. She hadn't had time to wash it yet, so not only did it have her scent on it, but it also had the smell of formalin disinfectant. Oh my God, you're amazing. Huamin was impressed by her husband's meticulous thinking. At a time like this he was especially thoughtful. By the way, hubby, Huasiqian is still on that island. The island. I don't know what it's called and I can't tell you where it is. But Huasiqian has a man named Riley, a German. He has always worked for Huasiqian and he should still be in this town. If you catch him you will know where Huasiqian is hiding. Yes, I know. I've already sent someone to do it. Also, Huasiqian's second personality came out. That's why I had a chance. Huamin wanted to tell her husband everything that had happened. However, Chin Chu reached out and covered her mouth. Mian, don't worry. What you need to do now is rest. Get a good night's sleep. I'll take care of everything, okay? Chin Chu's gentle voice was like a magic drug, making Huamin let down her guard and relax. Yeah, I didn't sleep well. I'm so sleepy. Ha. Huamin smiled. Chin Chu hugged her and let her head rest on his lap. Luckily there was enough space in the car. Hubby, are the kids okay? Huamin's voice sounded tired. They're fine. What about Mom, Dad, Mom and Jishin? They're fine too. What about Su Yu and the others? Good. What about Lingling and Xiaowei? Everyone's fine. Qin Chu patiently answered each of her questions. When I go back, I really want to go back to work at Southside. I miss Jia, my friends, and my colleague President Wu. The more Huomin talked, the more sleepy she became. In less than 2 minutes she fell asleep. At this moment, Qin Chu took out his cell phone and dialed Lu Yan's number. Brother-in-law, how's it going? You didn't come to Sydney because you found something new? Lu Yan was anxious. Look who this is. Qin Chu pointed the cell phone camera at the sleeping Huomin. Chapter 3150. Lu Yan looked at the camera and saw Huomin's sleeping face. Her eyes lit up. Big sister, she said affectionately. When did you find her? Lu Yan was thrilled. Just now. She's not hurt, is she? No. He and the baby are fine. My goodness. My goodness. I'm so excited. Oh. Send me your current address. I'll fly to you right now. I'm not in a hurry. I have some things to take care of. I'll take her to Sydney to meet you later. Can I talk to her? Lu Yan bit her lips like a little girl and didn't know what to do. She must be tired from hiding and just fell asleep, Qin Chu explained. At this moment, Xiao Fei walked over and placed his hand on Lu Yan's shoulder. Yan's sister Mian must be exhausted. Let her rest. Didn't our brother-in-law say he'd take her to Sydney? But I can't wait. Lu Yan was slightly disappointed. I promise you that I'll be there soon. I won't call the professor because I don't think the signal source in Tasmania is that safe. I'm afraid that it will be monitored or tracked and bring him trouble. So tell him that your sister has been found and tell him not to worry. I'll contact my dad. Lu Yan nodded. So, see you later. Okay. Lu Yan hung up reluctantly. Then she turned around excitedly and threw her arms around Xiao Fei's neck. Well, Psycho Xiao, you found my sister. She's fine. He and the baby are fine. I know. I heard everything. Xiao Fei smiled helplessly. This girl was like a bandit when she was domineering, but she was like a child when she was coquettish. It was a big contrast. But Xiao Fei liked the real Lu Yan. She said whatever was on her mind and never schemed against others. My sister will come to Sydney soon. What do you think I should wear when I see her? By the way, what should I take her to eat? Chinese food or Western food? Should we go to the Sydney Opera House to take photos? My sister has never been to Australia. And, should I give her a koala bear as a souvenir? Tell me, is a koala better or a kangaroo better? When the time comes, I can send them back to China with my private jet. My 2 little nieces will also like it very much, right? Xiao Fei, what's with that look on your face? Can you give me some ideas? Lu Yan was excited that her sister had returned safely. Xiao Fei felt that he couldn't get a word in. My beloved Miss Lu Yan, can you stop imagining things? It's good that my sister is fine. The 4 of us can eat and drink tea together. We're already very happy. Don't be so sensational with your kangaroos and koalas. It's so eye-catching. What if the Australian government comes to find trouble with us? You think I'm afraid of those bureaucrats? What a joke. Do you believe that I can blow them up with a bomb? Lu Yan said domineeringly. The subordinates behind him all laughed. Who did he want to blow up at the slightest provocation? Other people might think that Lu Yan was bragging. But for Lu Yan, she could make a simple bomb in less than 30 seconds. Her own headquarters had countless bombs of different sizes. Her firepower was so strong that even Ian forgot to stop. No wonder she was the professor's daughter. She was indeed a bomb genius. Hey, I believe you. You're the best. Xiao Fei laughed as well. Seeing Lu Yan in such a good mood, his efforts weren't wasted. Psycho Xiao, you played a big part in seducing Schmidt. Tell me, what do you want as a reward? Lu Yan suddenly thought of this joke. Chapter 3151. Can you give me any reward I want? Of course. As long as it's within my power, I'll give you money, beautiful women, luxury cars, weapons, and even bombs. Lu Yan was in a good mood after rescuing Huomian, so she promised generously. I'm sure it's within your power. But I'm afraid you won't give it to me. Bullshit. I've always been an indomitable spirit. How can I go back on my words? Who do you think I am? Lu Yan was furious. If you say so, then I'll take it. Xiao Fei rubbed the tip of his nose and rolled his eyes. Tell me about it. Lu Yan waved her hand in a forthright manner. At this moment Lu Yan's subordinates began to whisper among themselves. Hey, what do you think young Master Chow wants? Could it be some kind of powerful weapon? I don't think so. Young Master Chow isn't interested in weapons. Then he can't give you US dollars. The Chow family is rich and young Master Chow doesn't care about money. Do you think he'll take away our boss's private jet? Or the limited edition Bugatti Veyron that boss won when he was racing in Florida? No way, I didn't know that young Master Chow liked cars. Young Master Chow is a shrewd person. We can't easily see through what he's thinking. Otherwise, why would he be with boss for so long? Anyway, let's wait for the show. The thing that young Master Chow wants is definitely not ordinary. Psycho Chow, tell me. Do you want me to die from anxiety? Lu Yan was impatient. Give me a baby, Chow Fei said solemnly after 5 seconds of silence. Lu Yan, fuck. The people behind Lu Yan burst into laughter except for her female subordinate Amy. Lu Yan was at a loss for words. You're the leader of a mercenary group. You won't go back on your words, right? Chow Fei began to write a note to Lu Yan. It's okay if you go back on your words. I don't expect you to keep your word anyway, Chow Fei said deliberately. Damn you. When have I, Lu Yan, ever gone back on my words? So, when are you going to give birth to my child? Chow Fei asked calmly. After all, Lu Yan was a girl. No matter how tough she was, she would still feel shy when it came to the intimacy between men and women. Therefore her cheeks turned crimson. Wow, look, our boss is blushing. That's for sure. Boss is interested in young Master Chow as well. The two of them often argue with each other. Haha, if boss gets married, all the mercenaries and assassins in the world will come. Just thinking about it makes my blood boil. You guys are overthinking it. Who knows what's going on? Amy suddenly said. Amy, what's wrong with you? How can you pour cold water on us when we're in such high spirits? Someone retorted. I'm not. I'm just stating facts. Boss has made a lot of enemies over the years. Once boss gets married and gets pregnant, she won't be as agile as before. I'm afraid she'll be hunted down by the whole world. Our boss won't do such a thing. So it's impossible for her to give birth to a child for Chow Fei. Lu Yan almost stuttered under Chow Fei's questioning. I knew you'd be like this. Humph. Then Chow Fei turned to leave with a cold face. Hey Psycho Chow, don't go. Listen to me. Lu Yan chased after him in a hurry. Are you going to give birth or not? Chow Fei suppressed his laughter and asked Lu Yan seriously. Yes. Lu Yan gritted her teeth and nodded. When are you going to give birth? Chow Fei didn't seem to want to let her go. Chapter 3152. Damn it. Give birth now. Go. Take off your clothes. Lu Yan pulled Chow Fei toward the suite in the hotel. Chow Fei, do you think our boss is serious this time? Who knows? Maybe our boss wanted to take advantage of young Master Chow for a long time. His subordinates were watching the drama unfold. Mi's face was dark. She couldn't understand. Young Master Chow was a handsome young master of an aristocratic family. Why would he like a wild woman like Lu Yan? In a small town in Tasmania, the sky was completely bright. The convenience store was in a mess. The average-sized shop was smashed beyond recognition. The shopkeeper was forced to kneel on the ground, shivering in fear. A group of people locked up the convenience store and interrogated the lady boss. So, you still don't want to tell me? Kevin pulled the shopkeeper's hair viciously. I really don't know. That girl stayed for a while and left after eating a bowl of noodles. Stop pretending. If she didn't know you, why would she come to your small store? I really don't know her. It's just that since we're all Chinese, I'll help if I can. Besides, as her boyfriend, you're such a scumbag. You hit your girlfriend when she's pregnant. Are you still human? The lady boss was also a sentimental person. Seeing Kevin, she thought he was the scumbag Huamin said beat her up. Boyfriend? What the hell is this? Kevin was also dumbfounded. At this moment, the lady boss said, Let me tell you, this young lady came all the way to Australia with you. Must be because of love. If you don't treat her well, don't make promises to her. Now that you've brought her out and left her home, you're going to be judged by God. What nonsense are you talking about? Are you crazy? Kevin was a little annoyed. Anyway, I'm just fighting for justice for our Chinese girl. You were tricked by that woman, right? Kevin heard something. That's impossible. That girl is indeed pregnant. Her lower abdomen is slightly bulging. Even I can see it. The eldest sister firmly believed that Huamin's pregnancy was real. I said, what she told you isn't true. She's not my girlfriend. Let me tell you, that woman's identity is very special. She's the person my boss is looking for. If you don't tell me where she is, I'll send you to meet your god right now. After saying that, Kevin took out a black pistol and pressed it against the lady boss's head. The lady boss felt her entire body go numb. This was a foreign country and these pistols were not toy guns. They were all real. Right now his life was hanging by a thread. Don't mess around. Let me tell you, my daughter and son-in-law are very powerful here. They know a very famous lawyer. You guys are messing around in my shop and threatening me. You won't have a good ending. Boss, this woman talks a lot of nonsense. Why don't we just kill her? One of his subordinates suggested. Kevin seemed to have lost his patience. He didn't want to listen to the eldest sister's nagging anymore. I'll ask you one last time. Where did that woman go? Where did she go? When did she go? You better tell me. The lady boss suddenly realized that this wasn't as simple as a boyfriend and girlfriend quarreling. These people didn't look like ordinary street thugs. Could it be that girl really tricked her? If she said that she didn't know, she would be killed by this guy immediately. But she really didn't know. That girl disappeared after going out the back door. You won't tell me? Very well. Then don't blame me, Kevin said as he slowly pulled the trigger in his hand. The lady boss was so scared that she broke out in a cold sweat. She closed her eyes, knowing that she was done for. Chapter 3153. At this moment, the door of the convenience store was kicked open. A group of men in black rushed in. They wore masks that covered half of their faces. They were extremely swift and efficient. A gunfight ensued as soon as they entered. Kevin couldn't care less about the lady boss. He pushed her hard and turned to run. His subordinates were fighting a bloody battle inside. For a moment, the air was filled with the smell of gunpowder. The lady boss was so scared that she hid under the table and didn't dare to come out. Her legs were trembling. Less than 3 minutes later, the sound stopped. A man walked in front of the lady boss with a submachine gun in his hand. Please don't kill me. I really don't know anything. I don't know where that girl went. The lady boss was so scared that she almost peed her pants. She really regretted it. If she had known this would happen, she wouldn't have gotten involved in this mess. Don't be afraid. Get up first, the man said. The lady boss slowly stood up. Her legs were still trembling as if they wouldn't listen to her. Those people have left. The lady boss didn't dare to speak. Our boss asked us to come. He said that he wants to thank you for taking in our madam. Your madam? The lady boss was stunned. Yes. Our madam's identity is a bit special. She has always been our boss's beloved. She was kidnapped by these bad guys and asked for a ransom. That's why she ended up like this. Thank you for taking in our madam last night and even cooking noodles for her. It's okay. It's nothing. Don't worry. We'll take care of those people. You won't be harassed. Okay. The lady boss came back to her senses and nodded. Our boss asked you to take this. The man reached out and handed her a piece of paper. The lady boss took it with trembling hands and found that it was a $1 million check. This is an international bank check. You can use it as you wish. Oh my God. No, I can't take it. It's too much. The middle-aged woman was really scared. How much was her small store worth? $1 million was equivalent to more than 7 million yuan according to the current exchange rate. This was a huge sum of money. Take it. Our boss wants to give it to you. Our boss is very rich. This is nothing. The most important thing is that our madam is fine. Girl. So she's your madam. Thinking about it carefully, that young girl indeed had a face of good fortune. Although she didn't have a devastatingly beautiful face, she did exude a different aura. He had thought that she was the daughter of a Chinese medicine family. He didn't expect her to be the wife of a wealthy family. Come to think of it, he had a fortuitous encounter. How can we do that? Take it. The shop is here. I'll have to trouble you to clean it up later. Goodbye. After that, Chin Chu's men turned around and left. The lady boss was still in a daze as she held the $1 million check. She felt like she was in a dream. He was still carefully recalling the conversation he had with that young lady last night. It seemed that these rich people's lives weren't that peaceful. She was already pregnant, yet she was still being hunted down. How pitiful. In the end, the lady boss sighed and put away the check. Then she slowly cleaned up the shop that had been smashed by those people. In a remote alley in the small town, Kevin was gambling inside. His men had all been killed. "Who are you?" Kevin asked. The masked man didn't answer. There were 2 in front and 2 behind him. 4 people pointed their guns at him. "Do you know who our boss is? If you mess with us, you'll die a horrible death." Kevin yelled loudly, trying to scare them away with Ian's name. Chapter 3154. The masked man didn't speak and continued to approach Kevin. "Our master Ian isn't someone you rookies can mess with. Do you hear me?" Kevin raised his voice to give himself more courage. The leader of the masked men said, "Our boss said that we're going to kill Ian's men." Then he raised his gun and shot Kevin in the head. He looked at the masked men in disbelief as a bloody hole appeared on his forehead. He had been with Ian for a long time. Every time he mentioned Ian's name to his opponents, they would be afraid. He didn't expect that this time he would be killed so easily. Mercedes-Benz. Huimin slept for a while and had a dream. She dreamed of her teenage years. When she came home from school, her mother was cooking. Jishin was playing basketball in the yard. He was wearing a jersey and sweating all over. She dreamt that she put down her study and took out the hair clip that Chinchu gave her. She didn't know if she was happy or shy. Huimin's lips curled up at the beautiful dream of a young girl. Chinchu lowered his head gently and put his arm around Huimin's shoulder. He must be dreaming. Otherwise she wouldn't be smiling so sweetly. "Chinchu. Damn, you're so stingy. You think you can win my heart with a hair clip?" Huimin murmured to herself. Chinchu thought she was very cute at this moment. He immediately took out his phone and took a photo of this funny and warm moment. The car slowly drove to a remote and empty area in the suburbs. Maybe it was because of the bumpy hillside. Huimin woke up in a daze. "Honey, where are we?" "The suburbs," Chinchu answered gently. "I just had a dream." Huimin slowly got up and rubbed her eyes. Chinchu carefully helped her up. After she sat down, he immediately handed her a bottle of water and unscrewed the cap for her. "I know. How did you know?" Huimin was stunned. Chinchu smiled but didn't say anything. "Then do you know what I dreamed of?" "I know." "I don't believe you. You can't read my mind." Huimin pouted. "If I'm right, will you kiss me? What if you're wrong?" Huimin crossed his arms, full of confidence. "Then I'll kiss you." "Huh, then wouldn't I be at a disadvantage?" Huimin finally reacted. "You didn't lose anything, honey. Your husband is so handsome, a kiss from him is worth a lot of money. Honey, I haven't seen you in a few days and you've become so arrogant." Huimin couldn't stop laughing. "It's not just a few days, it's been almost 20 days. Mion, we've been apart for a very, very long time." Mr. Chin felt wronged when he said this. Huimin also felt sad. Yeah, ever since they parted 4 years ago, Chin Chu couldn't be away from her for too long. Usually when he got off work late he would call her to ask about her. Huimin put his hand on Chin Chu's. Holding his slightly warm hand tightly, he said, "From now on we'll never be apart again." Before Chin Chu could speak, his phone rang. Oh. Chin Chu picked up the phone. Hearing the other party's words, Chin Chu's expression changed slightly. After he hung up, a helicopter descended from the sky. "Honey, take the plane and leave first. Lu Yen will pick you up in Sydney." "Yen is in Sydney?" Huimin was surprised. "Yeah. Like me, she's been looking for you. Go there first and she'll take care of you. You two haven't seen each other in a long time, so you should catch up." "What about you?" Huimin asked worriedly. Chapter 3155. I still have some things to do. Are you looking for Hua Xiqian? With Huimin's intelligence, it wasn't hard for her to guess what her husband was thinking. Yeah. Chin Chu didn't hide it from her. "You're going to that deserted island?" "Yeah." "Did you catch Riley?" "No. Riley ran away sneakily, but one of my men caught him. His name is John." "You caught John?" Huimin was surprised. "You know him?" "Sort of. He's one of Hua Xiqian's men." "Yeah. Wait for me in Sydney. Once I'm done here, I'll go to Sydney to find you." "Oh, I want to go with you." Huamin held onto Qin Chu's arm tightly and wouldn't let go. I don't think so. That island won't have a good impression of you. I'm afraid you. Before Qin Chu could finish, Huamin interrupted him. Yeah. I don't want to go. That island is a nightmare for me. I don't want to go back for the rest of my life. But I don't want you to be alone. I'm not alone. I have many men who can deal with Huasiqian. Qin Chu smiled and reached out to touch Huamin's face. Oh, I don't want to leave you alone. Huasiqian is a cunning man. I can't take the risk. Mian, don't try to talk me out of it. Anyway, I'm going with you. I won't leave you alone for even a single step. Huamin seemed to have made up his mind. They hadn't seen each other for a long time. She hadn't had enough time with her husband when she heard that he was going to deal with Huasiqian. He was really worried. Huasiqian was very familiar with that island. How could Qin Chu deal with him so easily? What if something went wrong and something happened to Qin Chu? Huamin let his imagination run wild, so he decided that this time, no matter what, he had to go with Qin Chu. Alright, come with me then. Seeing that Huamin insisted, Qin Chu did not force her. He held her hand lovingly and walked out. Go. We'll board the helicopter directly. Huamin smiled. A helicopter is good. It should be quick. Where's the man called John? Bring him up and let him lead the way. Yes, President Qin. Then John was escorted over by someone. Originally, he and another person had planned to use the speedboat to take care of Huasiqian. However, before they could leave the town, they were captured by Qin Chu's men. Riley Daogao took the opportunity to escape, and the rest of the people were all killed in the gunfight. John was a smart man, so he surrendered and told Qin Chu the location of the island. He also told Qin Chu about Huasiqian's current situation. Miss Hua. John greeted Huamin when he saw her. John, lead the way. Don't play tricks. If you refuse, we won't let you go. I know, Miss Hua. I'll definitely help President Qin find Huasiqian, John said. Let's board the helicopter. Qin Chu helped Huamin up first. Then John was escorted onto another helicopter. There were a total of 7 of them, and their momentum was so great that it made people gasp in amazement. In a hotel suite in a country in the Middle East, Ian wore a bathrobe and held a red wine glass in his hand. It was filled with a sticky, fishy liquid. On the wide bed, an Asian woman was lying on the bed with her eyes wide open. She was on the verge of death. Blood kept oozing out of her neck. It was a horrifying sight. Vietnamese women taste terrible. I don't want them next time, Ian said as he walked. Then he threw the wine glass into the trash can. Sir, urgent report. Speak. Sir, Kevin and the others. What happened to Kevin? They all cut off contact with us. I don't know what happened. Ian was about to unbutton his bathrobe when he heard this. Cut off contact. What do you mean? Ian looked up coldly. Chapter 3156. We're guessing. His subordinate didn't dare to say it out loud. Guessing what? Ian lifted his eyelids impatiently. We guess that Kevin and the others are dead. Dead? Did that little girl Lu Yen do it? Ian wasn't surprised. Over the years, many of his subordinates had died. I don't think so. Lu Yen should still be in Sydney. Then it's Lu Yan's people? I don't think so. Usually if it's Lu Yan's people, she'll tell us in a big way that she did it. After all, she's always flamboyant. But this time, our people disappeared without a trace and we couldn't find a single clue. Hee. This is interesting. Ian leaned back on the sofa and rested his head on it. Tapping his fingers on the coffee table, he seemed to be thinking about something. Boss, what should we do now? Should we send people to Tasmania? His subordinate asked cautiously. Ian glanced at the man and asked, if you killed someone, would you still be waiting for others to catch you? The subordinate didn't dare to speak. Get out of here. You're useless. His boss. Wait. Ian seemed to have thought of something. Boss, what is it? My good brother, is there any news from Nalo? Not yet. Mr. Nalo seems to be searching for Huasiqian's whereabouts. Oh, I see. Seems Huasiqian is very popular this time. Continue to find people to follow Nalo's people. Once you find him, bring that little bastard Huasiqian to me at any cost. I'll chop off a piece of his flesh to vent my anger. His boss. Go. Ian waved his hand and sent his men away. He was already holding a grudge against Huasiqian for toying with him. He didn't expect that after playing with others for his whole life he would be played by others. It was a very unpleasant feeling. Ian had always thought that Huasiqian was under his control. But to his surprise Huasiqian betrayed him. His betrayal came without any warning. This person was also very bold in doing things. With a new target, Ian was no longer in a hurry to catch Lu Yen. Compared to Lu Yen, the girl he saw in the hospital was much more dangerous. She seemed easier to catch. If she was really the professor's daughter, then everything would be easy. On a deserted island, the 7 helicopters slowly landed. John was at the head of the procession. Qin Chu supported Huamin and slowly walked down. Have you been living here for so many days? Qin Chu looked around the deserted island and felt a little sad. Huamin nodded. I'm sorry. Qin Chu held his wife's hand tightly. It's okay. Other than missing you guys a lot, he didn't abuse me. I had food and water. It's just that I was bored and wanted to jump into the sea a few times, Huamin joked. However, Qin Chu felt like a knife was stabbing into his heart. But he didn't let Huamin see anything wrong with him. He just put his arm around her shoulder and walked her into the small wooden house. Huasiqian is in the basement, Huamin reminded him. Don't worry. Let's see if there are any other clues. I'm afraid that this guy has a backup plan. Then Qin Chu ordered his subordinates to rummage through the cabinets and boxes, looking for suspicious things or secret passages. One of the boxes was opened and baby clothes spilled out from within. Qin Chu and Huamin both looked in that direction. Chapter 3157. Huamin walked over, squatted down and carefully picked up the clothes. He bought them to make me happy, but I didn't take them because I know I won't be here for long. If you like them you can take them. No. We don't need them. Huamin stood up with a smile and ran back to Qin Chu. President Qin, I've checked. They're all daily necessities. There's nothing suspicious and there's no secret passage. Okay. Let's go to the basement. Then with John leading the way, Qin Chu and his subordinates walked toward the basement. Honey, did you know that although this deserted island doesn't look big and barren, it has a lot of precious herbs and poisonous insects? If it weren't for them, I wouldn't have been able to escape and meet you so easily. Huamian seemed to be in a good mood as she told Qin Chu about her discovery. You're pregnant, but you don't know how to be careful. What if you get bitten by poisonous insects? Of course not. It's written in Chinese medicine books that wherever poisonous insects appear, there must be herbs that they're afraid of. I use those herbs to wash my face and hands, and the insects won't bite me because of the smell. You're like a child. You're so stubborn. Qin Chu pinched her nose lovingly but didn't want to scold her. President Qin, this is the basement. Huasiqian is here. John pointed at the entrance. Hey, this is the right place. I've been here several times. Huamin nodded to confirm John's words. Mian, wait for me at the door. I'll go down and see him. No, I want to go down with you. Huamian had made up her mind. She was afraid that something might happen and Qin Chu would be in danger, so she didn't want to stay here alone. But this is the basement and the air is bad. You're pregnant, I'm afraid. It's okay. I come down here often and there's no methane in there. I'm not that pretentious. In the end, Qin Chu gave in to Huamin's pleas and brought her and a few of his subordinates down. John, on the other hand, was being watched by his subordinates as he waited at the door. As soon as he entered, he saw that the storage area was filled with goods. At this time, one of the subordinates seemed to be thirsty and reached out to grab the mineral water. However, Huamin stopped him. Don't touch those things. I'm a little thirsty, madam, the subordinate said innocently. I've poisoned the water with the soul-devouring grass. If you're thirsty, you can drink the water that we brought with the helicopter. Huamin had only poisoned the upper and lower parts of the body due to the limited amount of venom in the poison. But now that the order of the water had been disrupted, he didn't know which was poisonous and which wasn't. Therefore, he did not intend to let his own people drink it. Hearing this, no one dared to move. Qin Chu and Huamin opened the small door and slowly walked in. Surprisingly, other than a slightly damp smell, there was no unpleasant smell. It seemed that Huasiqian didn't eat much, so there was no excrement. Seeing the two of them enter, Huasiqian, who was sitting in the corner, didn't seem surprised at all. He raised his head and looked directly at Huamin's face. Then he smiled. You're back, Sister Mian. I knew you would come back. You didn't want me to leave. At a time like this, you still have the mood to be elegant. Huasiqian, are you really crazy or just faking it? Huamin was a little angry. Qin Chu looked at Huasiqian without saying a word. What? You want to kill me? Come on. Kill me now, okay? Huasiqian was still smiling fearlessly. Chapter 3158. Not bad, you planned to set up this deserted island a few years ago. Qin Chu looked around and said slowly. Yeah, being with little sister Mian has been my biggest dream in life and I've already realized it. But you failed again, Qin Chu said. No, I succeeded in being able to spend a day alone with her on the island. Hey, Qin Chu, look at yourself. You said you loved her, but what happened? After the accident 7 years ago, you left the country without a word, and she had to bear the blame for her stepfather's tragic death for 7 years. Her grades were so good that she should have been admitted, but because of that stain, people pointed at her behind her back and forced her to suppress her talent. You graduated from one of the top universities in the world, but what about Mian? She graduated from a third-rate medical university and people still laugh at her. You said you loved her, but I don't believe it. I really don't believe that this is love. Do you deserve it, Qin Chu? You don't deserve such a good Mian. Huasiqian's words shocked Qin Chu. Huasiqian, shut up. You don't have to comment on our relationship, Huamin said anxiously. She knew that Qin Chu already felt guilty about what he did to her and the baby. If she forced him to do more, his heart would always feel heavy. Huasiqian shook the iron chain in his hand and it made a piercing sound. Mian, don't be silly. Qin Chu doesn't love you. He loves himself. Forever. After I set up Song Yisher's trap, he went to prison and you took his place. What about him? What did he do to you? He didn't die, but he pretended to be dead. Although he lied to me, he also lied to all of you. He ran to the States and hid in his shell for 4 years, refusing to come back to see you. When you gave birth, where was he? When you celebrated your birthday, where was he? When your child was 1 year old, where was he? Then, after Suyu did everything, he came back to enjoy it. Qin Chu, are you still a man? You're not even as good as Suyu. Really, I look down on you from the bottom of my heart. Huasiqian, stop talking. Don't try to brainwash us. Your logic is wrong and your values are wrong. Don't try to change what we know about you. No matter how bad Qin Chu is, he didn't hurt anyone for no reason. But what about you? For your own selfish interest, how many lives have you taken? You are an out-and-out executioner. Why don't you say these things? You didn't even spare Wang Shasha, so why are you talking about humanity? Do you know what love? Huamin was a very firm person. She would never change her mind because of other people's persuasion. However, Qin Chu was different. The weakness in his heart was that he owed Huamin and the children for the 4 years that he missed. Now Huasiqian saw this and wanted to use it to provoke Qin Chu. He wanted Qin Chu to break down. Indeed, Huasiqian's words did cause subtle changes in Qin Chu's heart. He even felt that he was a scumbag and didn't deserve Mian. However, when Huamin fiercely refuted Huasiqian, Qin Chu calmed down. Huasiqian, you're despicable. Over the past few years you broke up our family. Not only were we separated for many years. Now that you've found my husband's weakness, you want to brainwash him to break down. You're inhumane. Let me tell you, as long as I'm here, I won't let anyone hurt Qin Chu. No one. Huamin held Qin Chu's hand tightly. At this moment she was really glad that she was by his side. Luckily, Huasiqian didn't brainwash her and break her psychological defense. Chapter 3159. My little sister Mian is indeed talented and smart. It seems that her talent isn't just for show. Huasiqian smiled nonchalantly. Huamian glared at him, infuriated by what he had done. Qin Chu, thank you for having a good wife. Everyone says that you helped Mian achieve her dreams and gave her a dazzling title. But in my eyes, your CEO status, your family background, your education and your knowledge are all worthless. It's my little sister who made you an excellent Qin Chu. So remember, you'll always owe her. After Huasiqian finished speaking, he leaned against the cold wall and slowly sat down. It was obvious that he didn't have much strength left. After being locked in the basement for so long, he must be weak. He only drank some water and didn't eat any food. Tell me, where's Ian hiding? Qin Chu calmed down and asked. Whoa, you've got guts. You even dared to look for Ian. Do you know who he is? Cut the crap. Where's he? Do you think I'll tell you? Huasiqian raised his eyebrows. No, but I don't think you're loyal to him. Otherwise, why would you betray him? Do you know that his people are also looking for you? Really? He misses me that much. Huasiqian continued to smile with a complicated look in his eyes. Other than him, his brothers are also looking for you. You seem to have a close relationship with Ian's brothers. After Qinchu said this, Huasiqian's expression changed immediately. Huasiqian rarely mentioned Nalo. Even if someone else did, he wouldn't be interested. The outside world had always said that they were extraordinarily close, but Huasiqian didn't acknowledge this. Qinchu, the winner is king and the loser is a bandit. Today I've fallen into your hands. I have nothing to say. If you want to kill me, then kill me. Do you really think you're a martyr? A sharp dagger appeared in Qinchu's right hand. If I'm afraid of death, I wouldn't have put on such a show. Do it, it doesn't matter. I originally thought that the process of capturing you would be very difficult. I didn't expect it to be so easy. I'm very surprised, Qinchu said expressionlessly as he looked at Huasiqian. There's no need to be surprised. If it weren't for Jack's second personality causing trouble and I'm afraid he'd hurt Mion, do you think you'd have the chance to talk to me here? So, you make yourself sound so great? Qinchu laughed mockingly. I've never been great, but Huasiqian glanced at Huamin, who was standing beside Qinchu. My feelings for Mion are true. Always have been. Huamin was a bit scared of Huasiqian and hid behind Qinchu. Mion. Yeah. You go out first. I don't want to. I want to stay with you. Huamin was truly afraid that Huasiqian would brainwash Qinchu. This guy saw through Qinchu's weakness and kept saying things that drove Qinchu crazy. I'm fine. He won't brainwash me. I won't become a fool so easily. Seeing Huamin's sadness, Qinchu turned around and lovingly patted her head. Honey. I'm worried. I'm fine. Give me 5 minutes and I'll come out to meet you. It's too humid here, it's not good for the baby. I'll wait for you upstairs. Come out quickly, Huamin urged. Okay. Just as Huamin was about to open the door and walk out, Huasiqian suddenly shouted, Mion, I love you. Upon hearing this, Huamin paused for a second. Then he opened the door and walked out without looking back. She didn't know what Qinchu would do to him, but no matter what he did, she wouldn't have any objections. Huasiqian wasn't a bad guy, but if he didn't die, he would still be a problem. After Huamin left, Qinchu slowly approached Huasiqian with the dagger in his right hand. What? Are you going to cut me into pieces? Your dagger is too small, do you want a bigger one? Huasiqian's lips curled up into an evil smile. Chapter 3160. Qinchu didn't say anything and continued to walk forward slowly. Little by little he came to Huasiqian's side. Do you dare to unchain me so that we can have a good fight? Do you think you're in a position to negotiate with me? Qinchu stared at him quietly. I didn't think that the arrogant Qinchu would be afraid. It seems like you're still afraid of me. Qinchu didn't say anything. He lowered his head and carefully wiped the blade of his dagger with a tissue. Tell me, you're such a coward and coward. Why would Mion like you? That's really weird. Qinchu didn't say anything. Tell me, other than hiding and running away, what else can you do? You're friends with Suyu, your love rival. Aren't you afraid that your head will turn green? Qinchu still didn't say anything. If it were me, I would have defeated Suyu a long time ago and ruined his reputation. The grandson of the chief? He's just a playboy. All he thinks about is how to sleep with Mion. He always says that he's magnanimous, but he's just a shameless bastard. Qinchu still didn't say anything. Wow, when did you become so good-tempered? 4 years ago, not only did he hurt his leg, but he also hurt his penis. Was the baby in Huamion's belly a test tube baby? After all, you're both highly skilled in medicine. But Mion's going to have to live like a widow. She should have been with me. I can give her everything you can and can't give me. Huasiqian smiled proudly. You're just saying all this so that I can give you a quick death, right? Qinchu looked up and asked word for word. This time it was Huasiqian's turn to be speechless. You're afraid that I'll make your life a living hell? So you've been trying to provoke me and make me do something to you. So, don't you want to fight me? Huasiqian licked his lips. Before Qinchu could say anything, he continued, Don't tell me that you have to provide me with good food and drinks. I won't be used to it. After all, I'm the man who plans to monopolize your wife. As soon as Huasiqian finished speaking, Qinchu suddenly stabbed the knife into his lower abdomen. It was fast and accurate, and it avoided the critical parts. This is fucking awesome. Hua Xiqian let out a muffled groan. The sudden pain made him somewhat unable to bear it, but he still refused to admit it. Is that so? Very good. I'll make you feel good enough. Qin Chu tightened his grip on the hilt and slowly rotated it in his body. Hua Xiqian could feel the pain of his flesh being torn apart. Even though he was reluctant to admit it, his reaction couldn't lie. At this moment his forehead was covered in cold sweat. Awesome, awesome. Qin Chu, since you're so fucking awesome, then be the good guy until the end and let me die from pleasure. Do you want to die? But do you think I'll let you die so easily? Based on what you've done to me and Mion over the years, you deserve to be shot 100 times. Yeah, that's why you should let me die. Otherwise, as long as I live, I'll want to take Mion away. Hua Xiqian was bleeding from the corner of his mouth, but he was still smiling. His expression was extremely strange. Even so, I plan to let you die little by little. You'll suffer for the rest of your life. You're such a heinous person. Even death is a gift to you. If I don't die, Ian and Nala will definitely come to save me. Think carefully, Qin Chu, Hua Xiqian reminded him. Chapter 3161. Inha. Qin Chu sneered. You're scared, aren't you? Qin Chu asked. Duh, aren't you? You're scared of Ian, that's why you brought me on to this remote island. When it comes to cowardice, I'm no match for you. Qin Chu, what's the point of arguing with me here? A war of words. I want to say that I'm not scared of the person you're scared of. In this world, as long as someone threatens Mion, I'll find a way to kill them, not hide. As for you, what you need to do now is enjoy yourself. Then Qin Chu pulled out the dagger and stabbed Hua Xiqian again before he could react. Hua Xiqian's face twisted in pain. You've killed so many people. Even if you die 10,000 times, you won't be able to atone for your sins. So, kill me? Hua Xiqian spat out a mouthful of blood and his entire body went limp. You have to live, because I still need you to be bait, to fight Ian head-on. Then Qin Chu pulled out the dagger again. Hua Xiqian lost too much blood and fell into a temporary coma. Men. President Qin. His subordinates immediately ran in. Stop the bleeding and save him. Then, take him to the helicopter. President Qin, you're taking him away? Yes. Isn't it more convenient to just kill him? His subordinates were confused. President Qin's wife, who was pregnant, was kidnapped by Hua Xiqian. They thought that Qin Chu wanted to cut Hua Xiqian into 1,000 pieces. In fact, he did want to cut Hua Xiqian into 1,000 pieces. But without Hua Xiqian, Qin Chu would be in a passive position. If Ian came, the situation would be bad. If he used him as bait to lure the two psychopathic brothers, then he would have the upper hand. Therefore this time he wanted to play a big game. If he didn't get rid of these people, he and Hua Mion wouldn't have a peaceful life. For the sake of his beloved family, Qin Chu was willing to fight to the death. Hubby, when Qin Chu walked out, Hua Min pounced on him. I'm fine. Qin Chu smiled gently. He was a completely different person from when he was in the basement. You smell like blood. Hua Min sniffed Qin Chu's sleeve. Is he dead? Hua Min asked. No, it's just the death penalty, Qin Chu replied with a smile. To him, even torture is a light punishment. He caused me to be separated from you guys for so long. Even I want to kill him. Hua Min was filled with anger. Yes, let's keep him alive for now. When the time is right, we'll send him to see God. How can someone like him have the right to see God? Nonsense, he should go to hell, Hua Min corrected. He should go to hell. Honey, you're so beautiful, everything you say is right. You only know how to coax me. Hua Min's face reddened slightly. In fact, she was just angry. If she really wanted to kill Hua Xiqian, she probably wouldn't be able to do it. After all, no matter how bad Hua Xiqian was, he had never mistreated Hua Min. Even on a deserted island, he took care of her meticulously. People's hearts were made of flesh. Hua Min wasn't that cruel. But in front of Qin Chu, she couldn't show that she was soft-hearted toward Hua Xiqian. That would be unfair to her husband. So before this, Hua Min had mentally prepared herself. Even if Qin Chu killed Hua Xiqian, she would still support her husband. Then they left the deserted island and headed toward Sydney. In a hotel in Sydney, "Boss, young madam is back," one of her subordinates reported. Lu Yan was playing a game on her phone. Hearing this, she jumped up from the sofa like a child. Psycho Chow, hurry up. Give me my lipstick. I need to touch up my makeup, Lu Yan ordered. Chapter 3162. You're going to see your sister, not someone else. Is it necessary? Qiao Fei was exasperated. Of course it is. I want to see my sister beautifully. Lu Yan kept calling her sister my sister, looking as excited as a child. It made Qiao Fei feel that although this girl looked like she was a reckless person who would fight for her life, she still loved her sister. But in fact, what she cherished the most in her heart was this precious kinship. They didn't grow up together and didn't have many shared memories. But Lu Yan was still willing to do anything for her sister. Qiao Fei was deeply moved by her foolishness and impulsiveness. Why are you standing there like a mummy? Didn't you hear me? Lipstick, where is it? Qiao Fei was helpless. The makeup bag in the drawer, you idiot. When Qiao Fei opened the bag, his brain buzzed and almost exploded. Hey, madam, you have so many lipsticks. Which one should I give you? Qiao Fei rarely studied women's products, and Lu Yan rarely put on makeup unless she had to disguise herself under special circumstances. So when he opened Lu Yan's makeup bag for the first time, he found more than a dozen lipsticks from the same brand with the same packaging. Look at the color. Idiot, I want the orange-red one. It's beautiful when you apply it. I'm impressed, sis. I can't even tell the color. Forget it. I'll do it myself. It's a waste of time. Move back. Lu Yan pushed him back and walked over. When Huamin and Qin Chu walked into the hotel lobby, Lu Yan and Qiao Fei had just come out of the elevator. They were just in time. He had to admit that Miss Lu Yan was very efficient. Yan. Huamin was also very excited. The moment he saw Lu Yan, he almost burst into tears. It was supposed to be a beautiful scene for sisters to reunite, but they felt like they had just survived a disaster and wanted to cry in each other's arms. Maybe it was because of the difference in status between them that caused all this. Sis. Lu Yan almost cried when she heard Huamin's voice. She quickly walked over and hugged Huamin tightly. Sis, are you okay? Lu Yan whispered into Huamin's ear. I'm fine. Where's the baby? The baby is fine too. Huamin smiled with relief. Lu Yan scooped Huamin up in her arms. Her sudden burst of strength made many men feel inferior. But what are you doing? Put me down. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Let me see how heavy you are now. Little nephew, how much do you weigh? What little nephew? I don't even know if it's a boy or a girl. Maybe it's a girl. Huamin smiled shyly. A girl is good too. If she's a girl, I'll raise her here. I'll teach her how to fight since she was young, marksmanship, guns, ammunition, and my specialty, bombs. You? Huamin poked Lu Yan's forehead with his finger and looked at her lovingly. Seeing the two sisters reunite in a foreign country after a long separation, the two men were touched. Every time she sees Sister Mion, she turns into a child. Qiao Fei smiled with relief. Mion is the same. Is everything over on the deserted island? Qiao Fei asked. Yeah. Where's Hua Xiqian? Qiao Fei asked calmly. He's with me. You didn't kill him? Qiao Fei looked at Qin Chu in surprise. Chapter 3163. Nope. Brother-in-law, are you trying to bait a bigger fish? Qiao Fei immediately understood Qin Chu's intention. That's what I'm thinking. But, brother-in-law, are you sure you want to go against them? It's not that I want to go against them. They're a threat to my wife and children, so I have to strike first. Hearing this, Qiao Fei froze for a moment. Then he gave Qin Chu a thumbs up without saying a word. Qin Chu and Qiao Fei had similar personalities, but Qiao Fei was more lively sometimes. Qin Chu was calmer, but they had one thing in common. They didn't talk much. After a moment of happiness, Lu Yan walked toward Qin Chu domineeringly. Brother-in-law, why didn't you tell me that my sister was in Tasmania? Because I was worried that they would have reinforcements, so I wanted you to cover them. If that's the case, I'll forgive you. By the way, where's that bastard Hua Xiqian? Before Qin Chu could speak, Lu Yan continued, I'm going to skin that piece of trash alive. He's still in my hands. Bring him out. I want to see him, Lu Yan said domineeringly. And you can't kill him. Brother-in-law still needs him. Qiao Fei tried to persuade her. I know. I won't kill him. I just want to use him as a human punching bag since I haven't practiced boxing in a long time, Lu Yan said. Forget it. With your boxing skills he'll die with one punch. Xiao Fei interrupted. Shut up. If you keep talking I'll beat you up too. Lu Yan glared at Xiao Fei. Girls shouldn't be so violent. Besides, Xiao Fei is your boyfriend. Huamin couldn't help but persuade Yan with a smile. If you want to practice boxing I'm afraid you can't, Qin Chu said slowly. What? Brother-in-law, you don't want me to? Lu Yan bit her lips. No. He's bleeding too much and is dying. Let's wait until he recovers. Ah, brother-in-law, I admire you. Amazing, really amazing. Hearing Qin Chu's words, Lu Yan immediately understood what he meant and was overjoyed. Boss, dinner is ready. Lu Yan's subordinate ran over to remind her. Yes. Sis, I'll treat you to a feast. Let's go. It's okay. We'll just eat. Huamin was happy enough to see Lu Yan. Sister, you don't have to be polite with her. She's very rich. Xiao Fei said. Shut up, you freeloader. Lu Yan pinched him hard. Huamin was quite pleased to see the couple bickering. Although Xiao Fei was young, he was a reliable person who would accompany Yan through thick and thin. Inside the revolving restaurant of a 5-star hotel, Huamin was dumbfounded when he saw the table full of seafood. Did you go out to sea? Ah, no. I went to a fisherman's house and bought all their seafood today. Look at this big lobster. It has a great body, right? Huamin laughed out loud when he heard someone describe a lobster as having a great body for the first time. Does you like seafood? More. I didn't get you crabs because you're pregnant and can't eat crabs. Okay. Huamian nodded. The fact that she ate seafood was no longer a secret. The whole world knew about it. Brother-in-law, sit down. Let's eat. Lu Yan waved at Qin Chu, unable to hide her good mood. Boss, there's a group of suspicious people downstairs. Look. A subordinate reported to Lu Yan in a low voice. Can't you see I'm eating? Get out. Lu Yan was in no mood to eat dinner with her sister. Boss, what should we do with those people? Should we observe them or? The subordinate asked, risking being scolded by his boss. You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.